Hello, ladies, and welcome to another edition of Menopause Made Easy with Tanya. I have a fabulous guest today. Oh my gosh, she's on fire. She vibes high. She vibes like me. I love surrounding myself with people with high energy. You can just feel the buzzing happening here. So, Diane, let's just jump right in. Who are you? What did you used to do? What happened to your life that you went from who you were to who you are now? Let's share this with my listeners today. Welcome.
Welcome. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I know I feel the buzz for sure. Yes, my name is Diane Hunt and I am from New York, was where I previously lived, and I worked in New York City as a critical care cardiac nurse for 20 years. And so that was quite the journey. I really don't regret anything, but over probably the 10 of those 20 years, I really started having experiences that caused me to question and like, okay, what is going on here? Why is there such a push for all these things? And one of the things was the flu vaccine. I was, and I probably shouldn't even say that word because we get censored. So the flu shot, jab or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. And so I was asked to be a flu shot champion, which meant to go around to the entire New York Cornell Presbyterian Hospital where I worked and give all the employees, the shot. So I wore that badge proud. We're talking about 2000 and 2000. I wore that badge really proud because I was like, out of the entire hospital, they chose me. And whoa, yeah, they chose me because I feel that was part of my life, my journey, right? I don't know if you guys believe that things are given to us in this life to really
Hmm.
be who we were meant to be in this world. And so I took it because I had to give it to myself and then give it to the entire staff. Well, let me just tell you, I never got so sick in my life. I was in bed for probably 3 months feeling like I was poisoned.
Wow.
And so I really, after I finally got back up and got back to work, I said, never again will I do that to my body. Never ever. Like, what is in that thing? And so that started my journey to really explore and look at like, what's in it? What are we giving people? Like, why is there such this push? Why are kids getting 80 of them plus? When they're born to like the age of 18 is crazy in my book. So, yes, it's been a journey, but it's been an amazing journey because, in those 20 years, listening to that deep voice within saying, you know what, you're meant for more. This is not the way we truly help people with pills and surgery, right? That's like
Mm-mm.
barbaric. We're in this world now where, cars drive themselves and, we have these devices that at any second we can like call anywhere in the world or we could get any information. Why are we still doing pills and surgery, cutting out organs? Okay. So I really had to leave that industry because I knew it was not in alignment. I knew it was about the money. I knew there was deeper, dark issues there. And so in 2017, Tanya, I had to say goodbye, which it was my ego. It was what I
Yeah.
trained for. It was like who I was. I mean, I was loud and proud. I was a nurse. I was a critical care cardiac nurse. People love to hear that. Now I tell them I'm network marketing. Crickets. So,
Yeah.
but I love it. I love what I do now because of the journey and the people I meet and the things that I see daily happening in the human body with this technology is next level.
So it reminds me of part of my story. I wrote a book called Cookie Dough in the Dark, and I went to, University of Western Ontario, which is an ego thing to have a university degree, and then I went to college and I got, a fitness and lifestyle management diploma. And I worked on Bay Street and I put high heels and nylons on and a suit, and my ego was like, you are somebody,
Yes.
right? And I was teaching aerobics on the side and personal training, but I felt such a powerhouse just putting on this suit every day. I was making, this is 1990, beginning of 19, I was making $20,000 a year, which was poverty.
Yeah.
I had 2 weeks vacation and full benefits. And so I was in this job for a while. Finally, I was making $25,000 personal training and teaching on the side because I had to supplement my income. And I taught CPR, first aid, all these
Oh,
things
yeah.
just to make enough money to survive. And I basically had a nervous breakdown at work, and the ambulance had to come and get me because I was not living in my truth. I was
Hmm.
not living from my heart, from my passion. And I knew that I could not sit for a living. I had to be doing the personal training and the teaching full time. But how could I leave a job where I
Hmm.
looked like somebody, a professional, and now go to wearing shorts, track pants, and running shoes? I so understand that identity shift that you're talking about, but I have never been happier in my whole entire life
Yeah.
helping people with lifestyle choices of exercise, movement, nutrition, mindset, and tools. And one of the tools we're going to talk about today, among other things, is the patch, the X39 patch. But the joy, the light in my life
Hmm.
from changing. But that was a struggle in my 20s to leave a secure paying job. But I have never
Absolutely.
looked back, and my life has just from that moment gone up. So I feel you. I understand you.
Yes, absolutely. And
Hmm.
it takes courage,
It takes
you know,
courage. Oh yeah. Oh
because you
yeah.
don't
So
know,
let's
is it going to work? And yeah,
And you see so many people stuck. Like I
yeah,
see people stuck because, and I'd love your input on this. Our bodies love the known. Even if the known is not serving us anymore, the body loves what it did yesterday and the day before. So when you get stuck in this, and for some people, listen, some people love that life. So that's great.
right,
We need people that want to go work 9 to 5 or whatever they
right.
want to do. But if there is a calling in your heart for something, you have one life to live,
Yeah,
right? Vibe higher, I love your saying, is like if you feel that calling, you are going to be scared.
yes,
You are never going to be ready. You are
yeah,
going to have to step into a leap of faith. And I always say to people, you can go back.
yeah,
You can go back.
yeah.
So, what did that feel like
But
to
could you
you?
go back? Like I could never
No,
go back now, right? Knowing what I know and like the freedom we have with this type of like business model or like lifestyle you lead, I could never go back.
never,
So,
never.
yeah.
So talk to me just a little bit about maybe the beginning of that time with that courage, maybe some, like you said, the ego, the doubt, the voices in your head. What was like, how do you step into doing something different in your life?
Yeah, so I love the question, because for sure it took a lot of discipline, but also I did have a great coach and mentor that helped me. So thankfully, during that time, he would help me see that I was repeating old patterns. I was doing what was familiar, and a lot of those are trauma, because we like to stay safe, even though it's
Yeah.
not serving us. We like the familiar. It's like that ex-boyfriend. We know he's not good to us, but it's familiar. So you like
Mhm.
stay. We know he's not the one, right? And so I use that as an example because yeah, even though going to work every day, it was like a thorn in my side and it was like a kink in my hose where I wanted to speak truth to people. Like, there's a better way than going for that open heart surgery, or there's a better way than taking 20 meds. But I couldn't because I was in this environment that would fire me. But,
Yeah.
so thankfully, I had a lot of mindset work at that time that really was like, you gotta commit. Commitment in this world is everything. So many people, even in their word choices, use words, your words create your world, right? So whatever follows I am follows you, right? So I am committed. I am moving on from that job. I am growing to this next level of myself and I am doing what it takes. And so my husband wasn't so on board because it was a good salary as a nurse in New York City. But again, my body was breaking down, much like
Yeah.
yours. When you're not in alignment, whoa, does your body speak to you? Because it's emotional, right? It's magnetic, electric energy. So when your energy, your vibration is not high, yes,
Yeah.
emotions get stuck.
But even like I'm sure you know people who, again, don't want to be in that safety, but stay in that safety. And the sentence that you just said, like oh gosh, wanting to do the same thing, but knowing something different in your body. No, like listening to yourself. And I think we've been taught not to listen to ourselves. Like I truly could not stay in the job I was in. I tried to go back and I was hauled off again. And
Mm.
I'm like, the universe whispers, and if you don't listen to the whispers, it starts to clap and then it bangs. And this is why we're seeing, in my opinion, astronomical health issues right now
Yeah.
because people are not trusting. They're not listening. They're scared, right? And it's like, how can we encourage people to step into their light? Step because the world needs their light. And
Yes,
so
and
we're
not to
going,
numb it. So many
oh,
people are seeking because it is uncomfortable and we don't like to be uncomfortable. So they're seeking things to numb it, whether it's alcohol, whether it's food, ice cream at night, or, this thing all day, 24/7.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, which is exactly what I did for years. So I had a
Oh,
sugar
great.
addiction. And I numbed myself with food. So this is like I have been through all the things that you're mentioning because
I was
I,
a bulimic for 16 years.
okay, right?
So,
So you're protecting. Now I understand that I was protecting myself because I didn't know how to fully step into my power. I had to work through being criticized, like rejected, abandoned, all of these things. And I say to people, this is peeling the layer of the
yes,
onion to get to your
yes,
core. Are you willing to peel the layers?
yes.
And
So
you need
good.
support while you're doing it. You really do. You need a cheerleading team, not people that are going to say, don't do it. Like there's a lot of people that don't want you to change. So,
Absolutely. That's why I feel I mentioned my coach because we all need a Tanya or like mine was a Jeff, right? Through those times because they are challenging, and it does take a cheerleading team to keep you
yeah.
on track.
So one day, this patch came into your life. Okay. So I'll tell you a quick story and then I want to hear yours. I have been in this industry a long time. I see a lot of things. I vet a lot of things. I spend a lot of money. I was hearing about this patch, the X39 patch. Just I heard Rachel on a podcast. I heard different people, photo parrot, and I'm like, what is this patch? And so my sister was her health was not great. Her energy is horrible. And I said to my sister, let's just try this patch. I've heard this patch. I just want to be a customer. I don't want to talk to anybody about this patch. Okay. The things that have happened to my sister in the last 3 months, and I have to tell you, I stuck this patch on my dad 2 weeks ago. The
Uh,
motivation and the energy he has at 81 is mind blowing compared to a month ago. Okay. And he's been 2 weeks on this patch as of February 23rd.
Amazing.
And I said to my sister about, honestly, I think it's been about 2 weeks, maybe three. Okay, we got to talk about this. I can't keep this quiet anymore. But I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to. But I'm like, it's my passion to make other people's lives better. This
Yes.
is my light. I
Yes.
have to share. So, what was your story when you
Yes.
see this patch and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like a little
I
patch.
know.
Yeah. What is this patch going to do for my life? What happened?
Well, yes, similar to you, I have all the things I've spent thousands of dollars on healing modalities, the natural stuff. So I thought I had all the tools and gadgets and everything. Early on, though, in my journey, whatever, if we want to say it was long haul COVID or whatever, I did get it very early on before it was even a thing. But my lungs were affected and my heart was too. So I was really struggling. I was like, please bring me something, God, that will help me heal naturally. I never want to go into that medical community, right? And then be labeled or diagnosed with something. I know the body's intelligent and heal itself, but I also know certain tools can assist it, right? So, none of the tools though I had was really helping me. And so, a nurse from Florida reached out to me and said, just out of the blue, she was like, I know you're really into health and natural remedies and stuff. Have you heard of these patches? And it was at that moment where I was like, what is this? Like, like, how did I not hear this? This has to be something new, like a startup that, like, yeah. But when I saw this was around for 20 years, this company, and the growth and success that it has had, and then the things that it does with the human body, I was like, okay, you know what? I've been asking for this to come into my life. Why would I not be like a heck yes? And at the same time, I was watching my dad. So this was 3 years ago at 79. He was going downhill really fast with like so much inflammation in his body. So I was like, you know what? And so much discomfort, like 8 out of 10 every day. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to order the biggest pack. I'm going to get him on my entire family. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to use it because I did believe in phototherapy. I did believe in that, like all that frequency, energy stuff. So I was like, let's go. So we put him on, my entire family. In 24 hours, I no longer had any more shortness of breath. And then my palpitations were gone, like not even one ever again. And
Wow.
then now I've been on for 3 years, Tanya. I mean, the things that have happened, like I've never felt this good, this energized, focused mental clarity. No surprise that this is the fastest growing company in the space because I just feel like it gives people like such motivation, such, I want to say like clarity and focus, which I was struggling with that too. I was walking a room and be like, what did I come in here for? At like 50. That's
Yeah.
not normal, right? Like, no. And so my dad, though, just so people know that are tuning in, please know every body is so different. This is cumulative, right? So it's not like overnight I had all those issues. No, over time, or my dad, right? Over time, the body starts aging and, declining. And so my dad, it took 4 months for him to have his magic. My husband, 3 months. My husband stopped snoring. I mean, do you know what that's like to have a partner that snores so much? We tried everything and nothing took care of it,
Hmm.
even deviated septum surgery, which I was against, but he was basically at ends with like I need it, and so that didn't help, and so these patches took away his snoring. My dad, he just got back from Switzerland hiking over 43 miles. The man couldn't even walk without a boot and a cane 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know. You know what? And people say, like, one of my friends, I had them look at my website page that I made. She said, Tanya, it's too good to be true. It just seems too good to be true. You have to take off some of these testimonials. And I just said, oh my gosh, like it is just it's just fat. Like I can only talk about my sister, my dad, myself, and my girlfriend Rose said to me, Tanya, you sound different. Like you're already healthy. She said, when I heard about your sister, I'm like, okay, I got to try these patches because like that to me was like, wow. But she says, I said, Rose, something has happened to me. I cannot tell you what it is, but on an energetic, subtle level, something has shifted in me. It's amazing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
But I do feel what you're saying. We almost have to tone down
Yeah,
what we know because it does, and I get that people that are tuning in, it does sound crazy. But I also say if we were told, like 10 years ago, we'd all be driving these cars, maybe, maybe not, like that drive themselves, right? We might
yeah.
think that's a little crazy, like, I don't know, or like, we would watch
Or
the Jetsons.
even a cell phone not being wired to something, right?
Right,
So, I just want to say too, when I first started the patch, I did not feel a lot. I felt a little uptick in
yes,
energy. I felt a little tiny uptick in energy. And it was my sister who I was like, oh my gosh, like
yes,
this is something's crazy. And then I was just talking to a group of people. I just taught an improve your vision class. And I said to people, you don't put $1,000 in a bank and get 1 million by the next week. It's
right,
compound interest. That's with
right.
all things in life. So if you're looking for a quick fix, I am not a quick fix girl, but I'm not saying that tomorrow you're going to be like 40 years younger and have everything fixed in your body, but I'm saying if you have the belief that your body can heal yourself with your own light. So my husband's a skeptic. He's my biggest skeptic. He's a pain in my butt. Um, And he's like, Tanya, how can a little patch do anything? Like, there's no medication on it, there's nothing on it. Shouldn't it be the size of a huge band-aid that you stick on your arm? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. And I said, Glenn, it's reflecting your own light. We all emit light. We emit infrared light, and we have this copper peptide within us, along as with other peptides. So, can you explain to our listeners, like, how is it? What's happening? What's happening
Yes,
to the skeptic
absolutely.
out there?
Yes, for sure. And I understand, of course, right? Like the skepticism of how small this is. But again, when you understand frequency, it really, it's not about the size. It's about the frequency of like even our phones. Like, how can we call Japan right now, right?
Yeah,
It's an energy frequency with the towers, which, connect to each other. And so the same with how is vitamin D raising in your body, right? By the sunlight. It's not that the sun, the frequency rays are giving you that instruction as it stimulates your skin, like let's raise the vitamin D as it breaks down cholesterol, X, Y, and Z, right? So the same thing. How is this, elevating peptides within our body? Because the owner, the inventor, spent 10 years, millions of dollars figuring out the exact frequency needed
mm,
to uptick our levels of peptide, GHKCU. And so when you think, I say almost like, the smarter we are, the harder it is to think and grasp the concept, but don't think in terms of what we know, because again, we have so many advancements in every other type of industry, but yet when it comes to medicine, people don't want to believe that that's possible. They want to stick with what they know, the medicine, the pills, and the surgery.
yeah,
Let's let's expand what we know and like step into the unknown, which really has been known for thousands and thousands of years. Because if you want to do your research,
yeah,
you will find that light frequency has been healing for thousands of years, okay? And so I just say, they want to keep us here because that's where the money is, the pills and the surgery. Like we said, this is what this is doing for the world is like for less than like 3.30 a day, less than a cup of coffee. I mean, yeah, of course,
yeah.
yeah, it's not
And
out on the
so,
front.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, of course, it's not like in every hospital and every doctor's office because I wish
Yeah.
it would and hoping one day it will.
Yeah,
Times will
I might
change.
imagine having a non-invasive things to help, with bone health and heart health and
Yes.
healing and inflammation and eyesight and just again. But I will go back and say something here, just because both of us have felt this in our journey, is that we get stuck in our beliefs, we get stuck in our patterns, we get stuck in our habits. And when somebody challenges those, we become defensive and we want to hold on to what we know, right? And so I understand that because I spent a lot of my time being defensive.
Mhm.
I've moved past that, which is feels really good.
Mhm.
Then there's also when you are thinking about frequency, this is a really good example. Like if you are listening to Country 101 FM, like you
Yeah.
are on that
Yeah.
frequency. You're not listening to pop 104, right?
Right.
Until you switch the station and then you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh my God, there's a pop station and a country station." Right?
Yes.
And so when you start to listen to different frequencies from radios, that's what we are. We are broadcasting frequencies. Now, some people like to broadcast the frequency of victim, right? They want to stay in the
Mhm.
victim mentality, which is a very low vibration. And other people, which I was there as well, so I know
Mhm.
that I was a victim.
Right.
And I stepped out of that. It was challenging for a lot of different reasons, but I understand the frequency thing. And so if you are not used to being in a higher frequency, you will trickle down to bring more lower frequency back into your life. by foods you choose, alcohol, people you hang around with, that kind of thing. I think it's really important for people to understand that because it can feel, now that I know it, because I've been practicing this stuff for like 20 years, um, with through food a lot of the times, you will understand when you're in higher frequency and you will see how you self-sabotage yourself to come back down to lower frequency. Like I see it. I choose foods that bring me down, that kind of thing. I've been off alcohol for just over 15 months and it has also profoundly changed my life. So it's really interesting when you understand that you are frequency and that you are used to listening to the country station. When you first listen to the pop station, it may be irritating or uncomfortable. But if that is somewhere you want to go, understand that you can start to listen to a different radio station. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
And I believe the cleaner you get, right, with your diet, with your thoughts, you are more tuned into the frequency of love, light, truth, all of that. And so that does sound very uncomfortable when you go to, let's say, these, pop stars that are not of truth and love and light and listen to these rappers. Your body does get, I just know even watching some shows my husband likes at night, and I can't even, not that we watch hardly any TV, but if we just want to sit, I have to watch like a documentary or like, The Shock Whisperer or something like that. Like, I,
well, I learned that over the past year, the more you become vibrational, you can't watch crime shows. Like
no.
I can't. They're just too much for my being. Um, so when everybody gets icky about, network marketing, direct sales. I mean, honestly, I think we're selling stuff all the time because when you're happy and you see a good movie, you tell somebody about the movie, but then you attach money. Oh my God, I'm making money to this. Now they think I'm selling. I tell people, listen, I do things from my heart. I really do. And you're either vibing at that or you're not. So when you found out that this was a direct sales company or, what people say network marketing, did you go through like another, or was it just like whatever?
Yeah, I was lucky because I didn't have that negative. I didn't really know the things that I have used from network marketing companies that I bought from friends. I loved. They were really good products. So I did not have really a negative. I didn't even really know anything other than, wow, what it does. And I want the world to know. But what I will speak on is, we're always selling. We're selling
Hmm.
to our kids why they should eat healthy. We're selling to our husband why they should like cuddle with you more. And we're selling good things. We're never selling like, I want you to be mean to me more, or, I want you to like not make your bed this morning, kids. Like, no, we're naturally selling to people we love and just where we go, things that we truly believe in. And so, if we can take like the whole craziness out of it, and I do feel like, I'm just gonna say, I feel like it's almost been like indoctrinated into us because I now being in it for quite a few years, this industry, man, there is nothing better. The freedom it allows in your life for your family, like the legacy, the money. I've never made this, and I'm not making money claims, it's everybody's individual. It's what you put into it. But like, and we can go travel 80 countries and still do business because we're in over 80 countries in this world. I could pass this to my kids when they're 18 too. They can start it. I just feel like, they don't want the freedom model out there. They don't want us having free thinking. They don't want us not going to college and, being $80,000 in debt when we come out. They don't want us, spreading ways to really get healthy on their own. So that's why I feel like there's, yes, and it's just people hear something like my son, he's like, oh, when we first started, he's like, is that a pyramid scheme? And
Yeah.
I said, what is that? Like, what do you mean by that? He didn't even know what he was. He just heard somebody else say it, and so he carried it, right? And so a lot of what I hear people say, they don't really know because I could never pass up, the head nurse of the floor unless I went back to school and got, another certification for $100,000. I could never pass up, the administrator or the owner of the hospital. Here, it's what I put in. I can pass up, and I already did the person that enrolled me. I hope you back ladies, and that's what and it's a community of support. We didn't get that in nursing. It was like you wanna eat your young. There was no support. It was, yeah, it was tough love there.
And you know what? Even in the medical industry, you know how many times I talk to my doctor and nurse friends, and they're out for pharmaceutical lunches, and the drug recs are coming in to sell the drugs. Like for
Yes,
1 second, don't think that people aren't selling,
yes,
right? And so I
totally.
think the next question is just when, because I get a lot of my girlfriends saying, "Oh, I can't do that." And I'm like, "You don't have to do that. You do whatever you want to do." But I think that comes from, I don't know, for me, I'll speak to me personally, is just getting over, like increasing my confidence, getting over rejection, getting over criticism, and just, I say to people, I am not selling you crack cocaine. I am not a drug dealer. And do you know how many drug dealers are out there like wrecking people's lives?
Yes,
Like
yes,
I am doing something that is so beneficial, that you either are with me or you're not, and I'm okay with that. But before I wasn't. I was too insecure. I was insecure and didn't have the confidence I have now. I was a people pleaser. I just finished reading All the Way to the River by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I did a podcast on it last week. And wow, reading that book made me feel really uncomfortable because I noticed my addiction to people pleasing, my lack of self-worth. Um,
mhm.
and you do grow when you step out of your comfort zone and shine your light. So people are ready to do it at different times. And when you're ready
Man, do
to,
I resonate with that. The
Mhm.
codependency, people pleaser, nice girl, that
Yeah,
was me.
yeah.
And that's one other thing is like in this industry, who you become. Like there was never personal development motivation as a nurse,
Mm,
really. But
mm.
this, if you want success in this, and I think that's why so many people shy away because they will have to become uncomfortable. They will have to become something that's a little uncomfortable and become more and, really look in the mirror and see like, wow, those are the things I really need to get to work on if I want to become, who I want to become. And so that's what I love about this because we're speaking to those who feel it in their heart, that there's more in your heart. Like you might have seen that on my talk on Saturday is I am not leaving this earth with that song still in my heart. If you feel like you have more to share in this world, and I'm not saying these patches are, the is what you want to share with the world, right? But it can absolutely be the vehicle to get you to where you want to be so that you can share your light, your love. You can be more, you could do more, you can have more. Maybe you want to travel and do missionary work, right? But you don't have the means, the finances. This absolutely can be a way. And like Tanya was just saying, like what we are sharing is not like crack cocaine. This is something on like the deepest level, like you said, you just feel a cellular level. Like when I say vibe higher, I truly feel if we can get enough people with these
Oh,
patches, we
oh,
can absolutely create world peace.
I
Because
I believe you. I believe you.
yeah,
I
I just
always,
got so many chills through my body right
oh,
now. Woo!
I say to people again, I'm not even selling anything when I say this, but if you read Hawkins, oh gosh, why have I
David
forgotten?
Hawkins.
Yes. If you understand the scale of frequency, that if you, which I lived in anger, I lived
I
in
love that you're
victimhood.
speaking on him.
Oh yeah, I lived in shame. I lived in guilt. I lived
Same.
in envy. Okay, all of these things are low vibration. What does that attract? That attracts alcohol into my life. It attracts bad relationships. It attracts sugar. It attracts low vibrational activities. I was there for a long time. And
Same.
then I say to people all the time, I live in gratitude. I live in love. I live in peace. I have purple around me all the time.
Mhm.
Purple. I put people in purple bubbles. The last 5 years have been extremely challenging. I lost my whole business because my studio
Mhm.
was shut down. And I was in anger for a while. And then I said, Tanya, be peace. Be the change you want to see. Live in peace. Put everybody in a bubble. Just love everybody. And that's how I speak now. That doesn't cost anybody anything. You're not buying anything from me. All I'm asking is that if you can shift to gratitude, to love, to peace, to feeling with your heart. This is the time, everybody. We are supposed to get out of our heads and move back into our heart. And if you can do that, I'm telling you, the world will change. We don't need every single person. We just need a tipping point. And I'm just holding on to faith that that's going to happen.
Absolutely. Me too. Absolutely. I love everything you said because I'm right there, that map of consciousness, right? And that bridge to get you to that higher vibration is having the courage, right? To really accept and own where you are, where you were, but now having the courage to come to that space that me and Tanya feel has been life changing. When you live in like the peace, the love, enlightenment, it's you're just going to, your whole world will shift. So have that courage because yes.
And can I just say, when I heard you do your Charlie's Angels chat, that courage doesn't mean you're not scared. Okay.
Oh,
Courage doesn't mean you're not nervous, you're not scared, you're not uncomfortable, you're not doubting yourself, but you do it anyway. You do it anyway. And that I want to encourage people to rise up, to rise up. And I'm
absolutely.
telling you, I don't know what's happened to me, but I mean, there is not just one thing, but I will say the patch compounded something. It definitely did. And at times, do I feel like I want to shrink back into my little hole? I don't know. Maybe you do sometimes where you're just like, oh my gosh. But I know that God, whoever you want to call it,
Yeah.
I was put on this earth and I am living my purpose. And I feel you are too. And you look back at where you were and you just, the amount of people you can help now with your energy and your light is, I mean, it's so bright. So I thank you.
Yes. Oh man, I say whenever I feel fear, I lean in and see. I used to always be the girl that would be like, pull back because I don't, especially public speaking still. If you ever see me, I know this is Zoom, it's a little different, but if I am shaking, I'm even crying. Like, but this is me. I don't try to hide it. It is so uncomfortable, but I promised myself growth. And so when I know that I feel fear, I feel scared. I say, Diane, this will grow you. Choose it. Choose it anyway. And so I appreciate you, Tanya. Man, do I have a soul connection with you on a deep level.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Well, is there anything you would like to share that you may have felt we left out or anything like that to wrap this up?
Well, I just, just want to touch back on this patch. I do feel the most dangerous thing is a closed mind. And like
Mm,
Tanya said, and myself, I've been known to just be stuck in my thoughts and not want to be open to other ways, especially in my beginning years of a nurse. I thought I knew what I knew, and that was the truth, right? And so I had to do a lot of unlearning. And I just say, man, when you start showing up, that you don't know everything and you're open to other ways, and just being open is again a whole different vibration. So, if you're struggling physically, financially, or both, man, before this came, I was down on my knees probably more financially than physically. And so this vehicle has just been the hugest blessing in my family's life. And that's why I do this. Just, and I'm not here, like Tanya said, to convince anybody. But when you say yes and you're open to something, it absolutely has the power to change your life in so many ways that you probably don't even know what's possible, because, I didn't even know. I thought I was just saying yes to like helping with my heart and lungs. And now 3 years later, my mind is blown. I've traveled the world with some of the most amazing people on earned trips, as a nurse, I would get an insulated cooler bag, for Nurses Day for doing a good job. So there's just so many incredible, and it's the people you do life with, right? It's the places you go, the things you see, the people you meet that truly change the whole trajectory of your life. So be open is my last message because you never know what's in front of you.
Perfect. Yeah. Be open. And even if you're scared, be open anyway. And
Yes,
just, it's so thrilling. It's scary, but it's thrilling. I say to people, your body doesn't know the difference between excitement and anxiety. So
uh,
stop thinking of it as anxiety and think of it as excitement, that this
yes.
is something exciting is happening and you have one life, and how do you want to live it? Like, what do you want to do? Stop playing small. Stop protecting yourself. It is a process. Peel back the layers of the onion. We're all here to help you. I just, like we said, we want everybody's light to shine because this earth will change. It will change. I know it will.
Absolutely.
So have an open mind, be curious. If you are interested in the patch, I'm on Diane's team, so you can reach out to me. I'll put the link in the show notes. And, I will just say, um, I think this just goes back to being open. If you find, like I talk to people and they're on multiple medications and they're
Mm.
just looking for a different way, again, it can feel scary. Have you worked with anybody that's like that? Just as a um, and we're not giving medical advice, but I think just being open to ask questions because there are different ways, I think is probably the best way to say it.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And again, like you said, we're not here to give medical advice, but it is the simplest thing. It is no more than you just sitting in a phototherapy, red light or something like that. So it does not interact with the medications you're on because nothing is going into the body. So, if that's something that's scaring you or holding you back, I always say it's the best wellness tool you can have and the simplest. Some of these infrared lights, you got to sit there and be close to it. This, you pop it on and off to the day you go,
Yeah.
like Tanya, she could do anything. She's got it right here and she could be sitting out in the sun. It doesn't need to be seeing sun. It could be under clothes because it's using your body's own light.
Yeah.
So,
You don't have to strap a red light on your back. I've spent thousands of dollars on, well, close to on red light things. So,
yeah.
yeah, this is definitely portable and great. And yes, everybody, perfect. Well, if you have more
And
questions
so reasonable.
and
You'll never
reasonable,
find anything that has this effect with this price tag. So,
no. And last week I did an interview with Beth 225A that you can check out. Beth dives more into the copper peptides. And again, everything is in our body. It's in our body. We're not putting anything in your body. You are using your own body's light, which is a concept you might have to just wrap your head around a little, but we are more powerful than we know. So there you go. Perfect.
absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
So, ladies, if this episode resonated with you, please share it with somebody who needs more light in their life. Just even a little crack of light can make a huge difference. And please subscribe, leave a comment for this podcast, share it with your friends and family. Much appreciated. Thanks again for listening. Thanks, Diane, for being on here with me
Thank
today.
you,
I've
Tanya.
thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. Thanks again, everybody, for listening. And see you in the next episode.